Sunday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Sunday. I'm your host for South Carolina Weather, Jesse Peterson, and let's talk about the weather for your Sunday evening going into your future. We do have some showers and probably a thunderstorm over here near Loris, South Carolina. Also, just to the north and west or west of Georgetown, we do have some showers and storms going on. Allendale, Walterboro receiving some showers and downpours. McCormick and Edgefield also receiving some showers and downpours. And as we get into the MRMS, talk about the entire country, you can see that we do have some showers going on, showers and downpours going on in Michigan, Canada, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois receiving some rain, Kansas receiving some rain, Oklahoma receiving some downpours, some storms, Texas also receiving downpours and storms. The West is looking very good right now. Nothing really much going on inside the West. Georgia, Florida receiving some rain. The Northeast is looking all right. Looking all right. The Mid Atlantic's looking pretty good. And let's go on talk about cloud cover. Cloud cover right now seems to be showing some pretty decent. It seems to be looking pretty decent. We do have some clouds near the coastline. Also, just the west of Charleston. We do have some clouds going on. Augusta, we do have some clouds just to the north of Augusta. And some clouds going on into portions of the upstate. Here's our cloud cover total percentage as you push this forward. Cloud cover is continuing even as we get through tonight. As we get into tomorrow, cloud cover will still continue even as we get into the 18th hour or so. As you go into around 16, 18 hours or so, clouds still showing up for northern South Carolina, the low country of South Carolina, and the PD region of South Carolina. Here is our temperatures: 80 in Columbia, 77 in Charleston, 77 in Myrtle Beach, 77 in Rock Hill, 79 in Greenville, 82 in Anderson, 80 in Greenwood and Edgefield, as well as Augusta, 80 inside of Barnwell, Fairfax, 79 in Walterboro, 80 inside of Orangeburg, 77 in Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, Savannah. Here's our low temperatures for tonight: 72 in Columbia, 74 in Charleston, 68 in Moncks Corner, 71 in Myrtle Beach, 67 inside of Cheraw, 67 inside of Rock Hill, 68 inside of Spartanburg, 69 inside of Greenville and Anderson, as well as 68 in Aiken, 70 in Barnwell, 69 Walterboro, 72 Hilton Head Island. Here's our forecast precipitation for the next 24 or so hours. You can see here that a lot of rain could be possible in the portions of South Carolina, like the upstate, maybe even the Midlands as well. Hundredth of an inch to a tenth of an inch possible in Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson, Lawrence, Greenwood, Aiken, maybe even Sumter, Camden, and Columbia all can see around a hundredth of an inch to a tenth of an inch. And we can have some isolated spots as well, so where we can see a tenth of an inch all the way up to half an inch in some spots. And up there near the South Carolina North Carolina border, 1 to 1.5 inches isolated are possible throughout that region. So the entire, not the entire border, but I'd say the mainly the upstate border regions for South Carolina and North Carolina, 1 to 1.5 inches cannot be ruled out as some of these storms, showers move through. And then here is just waiting for. Let me see. Oh, that's behind. Let's talk about severe weather. Nothing going on for tonight. As you go into tomorrow, we do have a risk for some thunderstorms for the Midlands and the upstate of South Carolina as well. All has a chance for thunderstorms tomorrow. And then as you get into day 3, Tuesday we do have a threat for some thunderstorms as you get into the Midland of South Carolina and the upstate of South Carolina and portions of the PD region of South Carolina as well. All has a threat for some thunderstorms as you get to the next 4 to 8 days. Nothing going on there. Some excessive rainfall. This is flooding. What can we see in terms of flooding? Nothing for tonight. Nothing for tomorrow. Nothing for Tuesday. Wednesday, the upstate can see some minor flooding going into Wednesday and Thursday. We'll talk about this in a second and why we do have a full, just slight risk of excessive rainfall going on and a huge marginal risk. We'll talk about that during the tropics, but pretty much most of the state of South Carolina, except for like the PD region and like the Rock Hill regions, does have a threat for some minor flooding. So that is that. Here's the tropics. But before we talk about the tropics, let's show the models real quick for the next 48 or so hours. And let's see what they show. So here's the, I'm not going to show that. We're going to show the 12Z instead. And as you push this forward and you go to tonight, this last update at 9 o'clock in the morning says showers and downpours going to be around the state. Pretty accurate. Showers and downpours are around the state. Expected to continue going to around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then as you continue through, showers still continuing into like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Low country South Carolina, the middle of South Carolina, and parts of the upstate can see rain going to around 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then some thunderstorms as well, which is why we have that thunderstorm risk for tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we do have a risk for some thunderstorms going into the state, like the upstate and the Midlands of South Carolina. And even going into around 11 p.m., 12 o'clock in the morning, going into tomorrow, like late tomorrow night, showers and downpours, and I should really say thunderstorms will be continuing for the South Carolina, North Carolina border. Definitely watching for some but definitely some strong thunderstorms going on up there. And that ends at around 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, so we're seeing showers and downpours for the PD region near Myrtle Beach, Loris, and some showers going on for portions of western South Carolina. Now let's go on and talk about the tropics. Definitely the main part of this forecast update, for sure. Here it is. You can see we have two areas that we are now watching for. Definitely watching disturbance 1, even though it is looking like, to be honest, that it may go just to the west of South Carolina. I do think that we still do need to watch this, and I will still be updating you on this. But here's disturbance 1, the northwestern Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico, Invest 97L. Disorganized showers and thunderstorms located over the northwestern Caribbean Sea and portions of Central America are associated with a broad area of low pressure. Environmental conditions appear conducive for development of this disturbance, and a tropical depression or tropical storm is likely to form during the next few days, while the system moves northward across the northwestern Caribbean Sea and into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. Regardless of development, you also got to look at the wording as well. See, it says tropical depression or tropical storm is likely, but it says regardless of the development, this disturbance is expected to produce heavy rains across portions of Central America during the next several days. Interest in northwestern Caribbean and the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico and western Cuba should closely monitor the progress of this feature. Late this week, the system is forecast to move generally northward across the eastern Gulf of Mexico in interest along the northern and northeastern Gulf coast, like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, the panhandle of Florida, should also monitor the progress. So right now, a 50% chance of this thing forming in the next 2 days, an 80% chance over the next 7 days. So this one right here, let me kind of show it. Here it is right here. This is the one that we're watching for, this red one over here to the left side. And the low pressure pretty much has already formed. We're going to show more on that. But before we talk about that, let's talk about this one over here, disturbance 2. A tropical wave is located near the west coast of Africa. Environmental conditions could support some gradual development of the system. A tropical depression could form during the middle to later parts of next week, of this week, while it moves westward to west northwestward across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. Right now, no threat over the next 48 hours, but a 60% chance over the next 7 days. So these are both of these right here, Eastern Pacific. We have Tropical Depression 10E over here, but expected to bring some tropical storm force conditions to portions of southern Mexico. And the Central Pacific, we have another area that we're watching just to the south and east of Hawaii. But like I said, for the past couple of days, most eyes are probably on the Atlantic right now for these two areas right here. Let's go on and just talk about the future, and let's talk about these disturbances that we've been watching. This is right here as we go on to current storms, and here's Tropical Depression 10E, but we're here for Invest 97L. So here's 97 Invest. You can see this is what Invest 97L looks like now. Honestly, starting to get a bit more organized. So we're definitely still watching this as it is just to the east of Yucatan right now. And here's the models as well. Here's the hurricane models. This is what I was talking about. Most of the models actually have it kind of, let me get my pen out real quick, but most of the models actually have it going up into portions of Florida and going west into like places like Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky as well. So this entire, honestly, I'd say this region definitely needs to be watching for a possible landfall throughout this entire region because even though most of the models are saying that it's going to go up through that way, I still, it's probably not going to be exact. And honestly, we will still have to watch out, maybe for some rain, maybe for some breezy conditions as we go through the end of the week. And so we're going to continue watch for that. But let's go and see the other models. Let's see what they have to say. Here's the GFS right here. Pretty much saying the same thing. There's a couple of outliers. Some saying that it will make landfall southern Florida, go up towards South Carolina. Most saying that it's going to go up towards Florida and curve again, like the other hurricane models were saying. So right now, the most likely scenario is it is going to make landfall in somewhere in the panhandle of Florida and kind of curve over into Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Arkansas. So those are the main ones right now. As you go into the GEPS, again, this one pretty much saying the exact same thing, except for it says that it's going to instead go in Georgia instead and kind of stall out in Kentucky somewhere. Couple of outliers going towards South Carolina as well, so that's why I said it's not completely ruled out. Here's the intensity model guidance. You can see right now most models are maxing at around one high end category 2, low end category or high end category 1, low end category 2, but some models are getting as high as category 3. And I think that that definitely is a possibility as we go through the next 84 to 100 hours or so. So that's pretty much everything in terms of this little system right here. Let's check out the forecast model, see what they have to say. So it's just the 18Z of the GFS. GFS as it's pushing forward, we're going to start receiving some showers and some downpours going into around the 24th. The time is in the top right corner if you want to see that. But even going to around the 23rd, the 24th, showers and downpours still continuing as we have a most likely a major hurricane going into Florida and then kind of stalling out in Georgia, bringing South Carolina. Definitely some heavy rain, definitely mostly heavy rain in the upstate of South Carolina, bringing some gusty winds with it to portions of like the, I'd say, PD low country, and then maybe some hurricane to tropical storm to hurricane force winds going to the upstate in around September the 27th. Then that's going to get on out of here, and then just showers and thunderstorms follow it through September the 30th. And then as you get into October the 2nd, October the 3rd, showers, downpours continuing. And then there goes our little area that we're watching down here off the coast of, or actually that might be a bit too far out. Let me see. No, that's a bit too far out. So this is another area that we're going to have to watch. But continuing it, seems like October the 6th, October the 7th, October the 8th could be a pretty nice period for South Carolina. But definitely most on my mind right now, or the thing that I'm most concerned about, is this system right here off the coast of Florida. And it is forming as we speak. So let's check out the other ones real quick. Here's the Euro right here. Euro has this thing becoming a most likely a major hurricane going, or close to a major hurricane, if not category 3, like some models were saying. Again, bringing those conditions up there to into Georgia and places like Atlanta, all the way up into the upstate of South Carolina. Here is the CMC. This is the Canadian model right here. This one, not really as strong. Just causing some rain for portions of South Carolina. Maybe a tornado threat possible. Maybe a tornado threat could be possible going into Thursday and Friday of this week. So we'll continue to watch for that. And then the last model, the Icon, has this thing becoming a most likely a weak hurricane. Going to make landfalls around like category 2 and then enter South Carolina as a weak hurricane, probably bringing a little tornado threat with it and some rain as well. So let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. So getting into the audience, Ms. Tolliver says, "Good evening. Hot, dry day today at my house. How does the autumn? Okay. The autumnal. I'm gonna assume that I said that correct. You're talking about the fall equinox. Affect the weather? Are there immediate changes in terms of just fall equinox in general? I'd say that you won't receive an immediate effect, especially with temperatures. Like temperatures for the next couple of days, like for example, in the low country of South Carolina, temperatures are going to be in the 90s. Okay, that's not. This is way above average in terms of temperatures. And speaking of that, we will talk about the weekly forecast in just a second, after we're done with the audience. But like I was saying, it's going to be still in the 90s, and so you will not receive those effects that early. You're still going to have to wait a little bit. And sometimes it can come early, sometimes it can come late, and sometimes it can be right on time. So I think this is one of those years to where we're just going to have to wait a little while. I think it into like October, mid October. I think that's when we'll really start to see fall, especially those temperatures as well. Going into mid fall is when I believe we will start to see those temperatures start to drop into like the 50s for some regions. Um, Michael Rain says good night, South Carolina. Good night to you. Con Fuchsia says we need rain in the upstate. In the Yes, actually, you just reminded me of that because if you go here to the drought monitor, the upstate definitely does need rain. Oconee County, Pickens County, Anderson County, and Abbeville County, and northern Greenwood County does need that rain badly, as you guys are inside of a D2 drought. And even in the Midlands and even portion of the Low Country as well as in a D1, I'm honestly kind of interested to see what next week is going to bring because not a lot of rain is going to fall this week. I guess maybe until after that storm passes. But I honestly just am waiting to see what happens next week. The drought will most likely expand next week. So honestly, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna see what happens with this. But right now, definitely yes, the upstate does need the rain pretty badly. Trail says hi, Joseph. Hello, and then Mr. Oliver says my light bill. Yes, your light bill's gonna suffer for a little bit while, or for a little bit while longer. And but don't worry, because in mid-October, I feel like that it's gonna really start going down after that as you start to see those temperatures start to decrease a little bit more. Let's talk about this week's weather real quick. So as we move on to temperatures, this is not what you want to see, especially right now during this time of the year. But look at that, above average temperatures for pretty much the entire state of South Carolina, but especially highlighting the upstate of South Carolina, where we have a kind of like a lightish red, and it goes from like yellow all the way up through orange through red, going into pink and then into brown as well. So this week it will be above average in terms of temperatures, and then in terms of precipitation, I have not seen this yet. It's going to be above average, most likely because of that hurricane that's going to be going somewhere close to Florida. That will probably bring us some rain. If that storm was not there, we would be in a pretty bad situation right now. But right now, since that storm is coming up, and it is forecasted to go up, we will most likely see some above average rain this week. And you can also look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook as well. As you go to the CPC outlooks, this goes through the next 6 to 10 days. If we go into precipitation, you can see South Carolina is above average from September the 28th all the way through October the 2nd. So in terms of precipitation, we definitely will be above average in terms of rainfall as we go through the next 6 to 10 days. So that's pretty much all that is right there. So let me check the chat one more time before I do San Antonio Riley's forecast. We do. Miss Chevy said that is a lot of heat. It sure is. Even as you get into this week, like I said, luckily in the mid-October we'll start to see it start to cool down a little bit. So now let's go on talk about San Antonio and Raleigh. And then if we have any other questions, you still have time. You still have till the end of the forecast update, which will be in around 5 to 10 minutes or so, to ask any more questions that you have. And if you are heading out from South Carolina, hopefully you have a great night, and make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe button on the way out, so we can get to our goal of 250 by September 26th. We're at 235 right now. We have 4 days to get 15 subscribers, so let's go on and try to get it done. So here is San Antonio right here, starting off with rainfall. Not much going on here except for just some shower potentials going on for portions of, I'd say, going into like late tomorrow night from around 9, 10, 11 o'clock p.m., even going to around 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. Showers and downpours are pretty much going to be scattered in nature. And then as you go into temperatures for San Antonio, as you go through the next couple of days, next 48 or so hours, move my thing up here. And we're only at the 12Z as well. I forgot because the 18Z did not fully load all the way, but that's fine. So waiting for this thing to load. Let's check the likes. Let's see how many likes we have in here right now. We have 7 people watching and 7 likes. So hopefully everyone has hit the like button so far. If you haven't, make sure that you do. But as you go into tonight, low temperatures tonight inside San Antonio around 73. High temperatures tomorrow night, or tomorrow, is 95. Low temperatures tomorrow night at around 73-ish. And that about wraps that up. Moving over here to Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's move all the way up here. Going into low temperatures tonight. Low temperatures tonight going into around 66. High temperatures tomorrow at around 75, 76. Low temperatures tomorrow night at around 67. High temperatures not quite out yet. We'll talk about that tomorrow for your Tuesday high temperatures for both of you. Same thing with rain. We'll talk about rain for Tuesday going into tomorrow as well. But as we talk about rain going into tonight and tomorrow seems to be not really much rain at all for Raleigh. No, not really seeing much. The only time you might see some showers and some storms is possibly around 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning going into tomorrow night, but not really seeing anything else much from that. Here is this, and that's pretty much going to wrap it up for both locations. Let's talk about severe weather real quick. And then if we don't have any more comments or anything like that, we'll be out of here for tonight. So let's do it a bit reverse. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's talk about SPC, severe weather first. No severe weather expected for either region. And then in terms of excessive rainfall, let's move this in over here. Nothing for tonight, nothing for tomorrow, nothing for Tuesday, nothing for Wednesday, and nothing for Thursday. Also, the reason why we have that slight risk is, well, because of that storm, that potential hurricane, most likely hurricane that's going to be going into the Florida coastline, which is why we have this yellow slight risk for all the rainfall. Could be updated to a moderate, especially that it's already 5 days out and we already have a slight risk of excessive rainfall. So that's pretty much going to wrap that up. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the forecast for tonight. As we are still at 235, make sure that you hit that subscribe button on the way out if you have not already. I see some new people inside the chat that I have not seen yet. So make sure that you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, as well as hit the share button, as well as we are trying to get to 250 by September 26th. So let's go on and get there. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Sunday evening. Ms. Tolliver says have a good night. Good night to you. And I will be back tomorrow morning with another forecast update.
Hey, yeah.